Sahitya is important. Vocal music has maintained its primacy. I think because of that. Because we require the Sahitya for, in terms of literary excellence, we are able to find meaning there. Tyagaraja, we are able to find Sahitya moving us in terms of meaning, in terms of bhakti and all that. A Dasar Pada moves you because the language is intimate with you. So even if I sing a Dasar Pada badly, you will still enjoy it. Because you have the avenue of enjoying the Sahitya. Actually, I was talking to him. That's why the divide also happens. Where somebody will say, why they are keeping singing all Tyagaraja songs, we don't understand them at all. Why don't you sing Tamil Kritis in Tamil Nadu, in Chennai? The tendency is there that if you sing too much of Sanskrit, so there is a divide that happens because of Sahitya. Because Sahitya has to deal with language, and language creates divides. That's a different subtopic, but I'm just telling Sahitya is Pradhana. So vocal music only can come. But if you know a composition, I will now try to play a couple of kritis where I will try to reach the Sahitya Bhava and the musicality of the Sahitya. The Sahitya has two elements. One is the language meaning and one is the musicality of the sound of the Sahitya. Are you able to appreciate? The Sahitya, that's why we can sing beautiful songs without even understanding the language and still appreciate them. Because the sounding of them is so beautiful. Right? And because the Sahitya in South Indian compositions is united by Samskrita, some sense of meaning you can make out. Even though I don't know Kannada, when I listen to a vachana or a pada, some sense of meaning I can get because there is a unifying element of Samskrita. Akka keelavuva naanunda kanasa kande, akka keelavuva naanunda kanasa kande. So I know Kanavu is Tamil for dream. Akka I know. Kande I know. So even though I don't know the Kannada, I can make sense of the key words most of the time. And then I can relate to it. Begane baro, begane baro, begane baro. So once in one stage where I was sharing with Gangai Amaran. Gangai Amaran is Ilayaraja's younger brother. You know, he's also very famous. You know Ilayaraja? So they don't like classical music. Okay, they always want to put it down. That's their problem. So he said, so I sang. They asked me to sing something. I sang Krishnani Begane Baro. So he's saying, this Begane Baro, you are singing it so slow. Whereas aren't you supposed to sing it fast because you are asking to come fast? I said, that is where you have to discover yourself at work. They won't understand. He was very argumentative. When he went to the mic, when it was his turn to speak, and he started lambasting all this Carnatic music. Anyway, so I'm recollecting that because I'm singing Begane Baro a little slow. Because that is the aesthetics of Yamuna Kalyani, in that mode. Begane, Begane, Begane Baro, Begane Baro, Begane Baro, Begane Baro, Begane Baro. My son Vishwa sir used to sing this so beautifully. Begane Baro. So here the words are there, Sahitya is there, but then Yamuna Kalyani decides that I am more important. Yamuna Kalyani I can enjoy for a longer time Begane baro, the meaning of that word, second time, third time, fourth time, there is a law called law of diminishing returns. You've done. So the meaning is already known. Begane baro, okay, come fast, come. So unless you are a great bhakta, whose attachment to Krishna is so deep, as far as the meaning of the Sahitya, it is not going to change. So it's hold over your imagination. Yamuna Kalyani has to take it. So every time I sing Begane Baro, it is the Yamuna Kalyani that is moving you, and the words continue to be your anchor. That is the way I look at it. Begane Baro, Begane Baro, Krishna Begane Baro. So here when the words and the raga go together, magic is created. In Hindustani, the scope for this traditionally has been less. Except recently when you hear Kumarji sing, Kumar Gandharva, who reinvented the idea of word meaning and word sound. What shall we sing? कौन ठगवा नगरिया लूटल हो, 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 कौन. So when he splits the word लूटल हो, a poet or a linguist will say you are doing padacheda. You are breaking the word. Lutala is the word. Lutala means to steal. Lutna. Lutala. Kaun thagava nagariya lutala. So lutala ho. But for him, the dvitiya akshara stress. Lutala ho. Kaun thagava nagariya lutala ho. For him, that lutala and that second last word rhyming is followed in the understanding. Sutala ho. Tutala ho. So he realizes that the tha is the moving element in terms of word sound. Kaun thagwa nagariya lootal ho, kaun thagwa nagariya lootal ho, kaun thagwa nagariya lootal ho, lootal ho. So when I am singing lootal ho again and again, for me to bring that out of the violin is impossible. So here is where the vocal dimension of the Sahitya sound is something that can never be, it is a one-way street, because only the voice can bring. So some compositions I feel it's pointless to play them on the violin. Even Krishnani I will not play on the violin, because the way I like myself singing it is 1,000 times more than even if I play it very well. It is still not working. That objectivity of what to sing, what to play is also important. Whereas a composition like, say, Manavyala Kincharadate, all of you know that composition in Nalina Kanti. There the instrument soars. The voice cannot soar. We will play that. The voice cannot produce the brilliant sounding of Nalina Kanti. It can, of course. But I am saying, the violin will be able to do it better. Both are valid, but sometimes some compositions which are known to people, they will an instrument can play it very, very well, very close to the vocal. The final effect will be very close to the vocal. Whereas in a composition like this, it is very difficult to get that same hold, because the tune is very simple. The melodic structure is very simple. It is the impact of the Ay Jamaraj, Palanga Chadi Bata, Ay Jamaraj, Asuva, 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 shutala ho kon thagwa nagariya. The sounding of the words. Asuva, asuva, asuva. I cannot bring it up in an instrument. It will fall flat. Only da sa di sa ni will remain. But asuva, 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 tutala ho kon thagwa nagariya lutala ho. This is Kumarji's tuning of Kabir Pada. So in Carnatic also there are so many compositions like this, which are the domain of the voice. And like I said, repeating myself, I tend to repeat myself. Even if you enjoy an instrumental version of it, it's because you are listening to the vocal in your mind. So how does a very good instrumentalist generally simple bhakti based composition, sahitya, are irreplaceable in terms of voice. Voice is what makes the maximum impact. So when an instrumentalist adapts it, he finds sangatis and musicalities within raga kapi. This is raga kapi, correct? So we'll also play that on the violin and see how the creation of violinistic sangatis will try to make up for the inability to project sound. Are you understanding that mechanism? Because I cannot, on the violin I cannot project sahitya, I project sangatis. Because I can keep going in a tangent.
Instrumentalists, they don't play Naravan.
Pointless. Because the idea of sahitya vinyasa, if you're not able to bring out the sahitya and the craft of Niraval is how expert you are at doing manodharma at the same time adhering to the sahitya krama, where all they fall, the syllables fall, correct? So on a violin or an instrument, it becomes redundant. It just becomes a tune. So I'm also against, I can play. When I accompany, I play. And for a namesake, I will play one kriti in a concert with Niraval. But generally, I find that manodharma anga is not very relevant for the instrument. One has to be honest enough to accept that.